And now,
a word from your professor.
Hello, this is your professor. Just thought I'd drop in and tell you a few things about the class. I know that online courses sometimes can feel like you're dealing with a robot, basically just a nameless, faceless person somewhere out there maybe who's looking at your stuff. It can feel like you're just interacting with a computer. So I like to check in early in the semester and let you know there's an actual person behind that computer who loves teaching and loves his students. So I'm a real person. And I know you are too, and I'm glad you're in class. You notice that the title of this class is Humanities, which has the word human buried in it. And so this class is all about what does it mean to be a human being? Now that sounds like an easy question to answer until you really think about the complexities involved in this thing that we call humanity. And so our goal this semester is to use the arts to delve into what does it mean to be human, but more specifically, because that's pretty broad, let's be more specific. I am interested in you as an individual using the arts as a way to delve into yourself, your own values, your own assumptions, your own views of the world and of yourself and of other people, and to take whatever reaction the art gives you and use that as a way of self-examination. Because arts make us feel things and experience things and think things. And I want those experiences, feelings, and thoughts. I want us to examine those. I want you to examine those closely and to see what you can learn about yourself and about your place in the world with the arts as the catalyst. The arts being the thing that propels you to do that self-examination, which I think is very valuable. In general, in our society, you are encouraged to experience the arts in a very passive way, to just sort of let it flow over you and go, I like that or I didn't like it, and that's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great to be able to tap out and just relax and watch something for entertainment value or read something for entertainment value or whatever the case is. That's awesome, and everybody needs that kind of relaxation. But also, arts can be used for other purposes too. In this class, we're going to dig deeper than just the surface level of did I like something or did I not like it. Rather, we're going to be more active in our interpretation of art and see what we can learn about ourselves and our society and our culture and our fellow humans in the process. That's the overarching goal of the class. Now, a little bit about how the Blackboard site for this class works. I designed it so you never have to guess what you should be doing in the class. You never have to try to figure it out. It's designed for you to open Blackboard, start at the top, and work your way down. So like for part 1, you just open it, see what it says to do first, do that, then do the next thing, then do the next thing, and then do the next thing. So I try to eliminate all the guesswork, especially since it's an online course and we don't meet in person. I want you to be able to use Blackboard independently and figure it out without having to guess what it is I'm asking you to do. It's all laid out there. Of course, you should always reach out and ask me if you have questions. I like hearing from my students, and you're never bothering me. People tend to start their messages with sorry to bother you, but you're not. Okay, so reach out to me if you have questions. But I hope that Blackboard will be straightforward and it'll be obvious what you should be doing at any given time in the class. Now, a word of warning, one of the only things you can do in this class to mess up your grade, besides just not doing the work, is to use AI to answer the questions. I can tell usually because what I'm looking for in your answers is a person who's in a humanities class in college and is struggling to understand concepts and figure things out and is trying to give me answers from that human mind, even if they're imperfect. Even if it's not an answer I would give, this is all about your thoughts and ideas and opinions. So when I read an answer in this class, it sounds like it was written by a graduate student or an encyclopedia, then I'm like disappointed because I don't really care what AI has to say. I'm not anti-AI. I teach a whole 101 that's built around using AI ethically and responsibly to enhance your creativity and critical thinking skills rather than to dull or replace them. So I'm not anti-AI by a stretch, but AI is not appropriate in every circumstance. And in this class, I'm wanting to give you an A just for expressing yourself and responding to the things I ask you to respond to. And if you ever don't get a full grade for something and you're wondering why, I'll tell you and you can redo it. So I would like to give you an A in this class, but you have to do the work and you have to do it yourself and not have AI do it for you. Now, a concept that I'm going to have to do some more work on explaining, because every semester I'm getting a lot of questions about it, so I thought I'd go ahead and at least briefly address it here in this introductory video, is what's called the intentional fallacy. And there's a lot of confusion as to what that is, so I'm going to try to simplify it, and then we'll talk about it more throughout the semester. But it's extremely relevant to what we're going to be doing all semester, so I want to at least touch on it now. So a fallacy is a mistake. And the intentional fallacy is the mistake of limiting yourself by saying there is only one interpretation of a work of art, and I've got to find that interpretation if I'm really, truly going to do my job as a partaker of art. I have to find out what the artist intended when they made this. So did the author intend for me to feel angry, or did they intend for me to be happy? What kind of impact did they intend for this art to have on me and on the world? The mistake of the intentional fallacy is saying that the goal of interpreting art, like we're going to be doing in this class, and analyzing art, that's saying that the goal of that is to arrive at one thing, and that is to figure out what the artist intended when they wrote the piece or drew the piece or made the movie or whatever it is. That's a mistake, because there are so many more ways to look at art and to think about art. Knowing what the author intended or the artist intended is a legitimate way to look at a work of art, but it's only one of many, many ways to look at a work of art. And I think a lot of times people come in a class like this and they expect the professor to tell you what the interpretation is. Here's the correct interpretation because that's what the artist intended. But I want to blow that wide open. I want to look at art and say, look, what effect does it have on me and why? It doesn't mean that that's the same effect the artist intended. We're not going to stop there. We're not going to stop with, I've got to figure out the one interpretation, and that is, what did the artist intend? So the fallacy is stopping there and limiting ourselves. We want to allow ourselves to be open-minded, to say, what are some different ways of looking at a work of art and interpreting and analyzing a work of art that may have little or nothing to do with what the original artist intended? We'll talk about that more throughout the semester. Well, that's about all I have for you today. I'm very excited for the class. I'm very excited to see what you say in your responses on Blackboard. And I want to encourage you to reach out to me at any time with questions, concerns, comments. If you want reading suggestions, you just want to discuss art in general, you want to discuss something deeper that we did in class, really just anything. I love to hear from my students. So reach out anytime for any reason. Thank you and have a great day.